I wanted to say a few words today about the importance and the power in perspective and having perspective in our lives and in different situations, and also when we leave certain situations. And this is the point that I want to highlight today as far as perspective is concerned, because it's important to understand its importance in that when we're often in a situation, we can lose perspective. In other words, we can lose sight of the bigger picture, the whole picture, because we are too close. And often, when we're in a situation and we're too close to that situation, emotionally, psychologically, or spiritually, often what happens is, in order to stay in that situation, we may need to be in denial to a degree, in order to survive in that situation, or in order to find the situation acceptable, so that we are able to justify our staying in that situation at all. And therefore, when we do that, what can happen is we can lose perspective of the whole picture, as it were. Just as when we're looking at a picture and we're up too close, we are often unable to see the whole of the picture because we're only looking at a small part of it. Because in order to see the whole picture clearly, we often have to move back and move away from the picture in order to see the whole of the outline. And it's often the same in situations that we are often unable to see the whole of the picture and the whole of the situation until we remove ourselves from it and we gain distance, which is why often when we leave a situation, we are often able to see more out of the situation than we were when we were in it, because we're able to gain greater perspective because of our distance than we were when we were in it, when all sorts of psychological factors may need to kick in, as I say, denial being one of them. And then we are less likely, if we are unable to see the whole picture, to be able to remove ourselves sometimes. Which is why I'm bringing up the subject of perspective, because it is so important to understand that we may not have the proper perspective if we are still in the situation. So a pretty good tip is to give ourselves space in order to think through what is happening and in order to be shown the whole picture for what it is. And therefore, when we are able to see everything in the picture, we are then able to make better choices because we've put ourselves in a position where we're able to see our part in it, the other person's part in it, everybody else's part in that situation, and also to gain clarity, to authentically ask ourselves what we really want and to be really honest with ourselves when we are out of the situation, and then we can gain clarity, and we no longer need to justify ourselves as to why we're still in it because we're out of it, and we can make better decisions then in order to take care of ourselves. We have then also, when we gain perspective by removing ourselves or giving ourselves space, we then gain more discretion, which means that we have the ability to be able to make more choices, should we wish to do so, because we're not embroiled in the situation. We've removed ourselves, and therefore we're not tied up in our emotions so much, and we're able to gain psychological distance so that we have the space and the discretion that we need in order to make clear choices based on objectivity and logic, rather than based on the need to survive or stay in that situation, which may be detrimental to us or not. But when we gain clarity and perspective and objectivity from that perspective, we are then more able to make a different choice if we need to. And so perspective gives us more freedom to make the types of choices that we make, potentially, in order to take care of ourselves and to allow ourselves to possibly be placed in a happier situation in future, because we've gained perspective and we've been able to look at all the actors in that situation and our part in it, and we are potentially no longer tied to a particular outcome. And so the more discretion that we have, or the more ability to choose, the greater freedom we generally have. And a lot of that comes when we have greater perspective through taking more distance from a situation or a relationship in order to make wiser choices in the future. So I hope that helps, and as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye bye.